So, I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. Excuse me if I'm looking down at my computer because I'm going to read some stuff. It's about the Trayvon Martin situation, and I heard about this a few weeks ago. If you don't know, basically, young boy Trayvon Martin, 17, was visiting his father and stepmother and was watching a basketball game one evening, and he decided he wanted to go down the street to the corner store and get some snacks. Neighborhood watch guy George Zimmerman thought that he looked suspicious, so that he was just walking and lurking about. He's saying this to the police. He's called the police, says that there is a suspicious young black man in the area in this gated community. By the way, Trayvon had every right to be doing what he was doing. He was just walking around, but George Zimmerman said that he would look suspicious, and I actually listened to the 911 call today, and he had said that he looked suspicious. He was a young black man, late teens. He's on the phone with the 911 dispatcher, and he's saying, oh, he's got his hands in his waistband, he's watching him, he's looking at me, why is he looking at me? He's just, sounds very uncomfortable on the phone for whatever reason. I mean, it's just, I get so frustrated just thinking about it. Like, it really, really makes me angry. But he tells the 911 dispatcher that he's following him. The 911 person tells him to stop doing that, and he continues anyway. And actually, if you listen carefully to the 911 call, he actually calls him a coon. And that's, to dispel any theories that this wasn't racist. Initially, I think most people who heard about this story thought that George Zimmerman, because of his name, and we hadn't seen a picture until recently, thought that he was white. I actually find out that he's Cuban, I believe, but that really doesn't make any bit of difference to me, because, I mean, it was racial, it was racist, and to me, it doesn't make a difference, because it seems like in these crooked police justice system situations, they don't really care who kills the black people as long as they get killed, so they're going to, even though George Zimmerman wasn't white and the police investigators people were, it doesn't make a difference, because to me they both were after the same goal, and that is they have a common denominator, that they hate black people. I really just get frustrated talking about it, so sorry if I'm rambling, but I have some information that I want to share from a website. It was just like 15 facts about this case that you would want to know. Okay. I already told you about Zimmerman calling the police, saying that there was suspicious behavior. I also learned that Zimmerman was in his car when he saw Trayvon. Trayvon was just walking on the street. He told the police, there's a real suspicious guy. This guy looks like he's up to no good, on drugs or something. It's raining and he's just walking about looking around. I mean, at the most, that behavior could be construed as just odd. Suspicious? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And then he even goes on to whisper in the phone, not necessarily to the dispatcher, just, these assholes always get away. What is he talking about? I just don't understand why I do understand why he's so angry, because he's a racist. That's very clear. The dispatcher asked if he was following him. He said, yeah. The dispatcher said, we don't need you to do that right now. But he still continued to follow. didn't just say, okay, hang up, and just allow the police to do their job. No, he decided that he was going to continue with what he was doing. A third thing is that prior to the release of the tapes, Zimmerman's father released a statement claiming that at no time did George follow or confront Mr. Martin. Well, obviously that's not the case. He admitted to following him to the 911 dispatcher. Zimmerman was carrying a 9mm handgun. I mean, I guess it's fine if you want to carry a gun, but TRAYVON had nothing but Skittles and iced tea in his pocket. So, seems pretty unfair. Also, TRAYVON was 140 pounds, about 100 pounds less than Zimmerman was. If there was some kind of fisticuffs, which I don't think that there actually was, Zimmerman would have been able to restrain him before needing to use a lethal weapon. Honestly, he did not need to kill that boy. TRAYVON has been described as an AB student. He was a football player. He had no criminal record. So, and the picture that they keep showing is of him in either in his football uniform or in like this Hollister shirt. And I'm sorry, it may be a stereotype or it may be me, you know, making generalizations, but usually whenever I see someone who's wearing Hollister, I can't even afford Hollister. Someone who's wearing Hollister, they're not usually, you know, dressed like thugs on the weekends. That's who they are. So I just really doubt that he looked that scary. Okay, let me get some more facts up here. Zimmerman, the shooter, was charged in 2005 with resisting arrest, with violence and battery on an officer, and nothing seems to have come of this. So I don't know how Zimmerman is able to get off. Honestly, I'm beginning to think that the Florida justice system just doesn't give a crap, because they just seem to be very lazy on their investigations. I mean, look at Casey Anthony, for example. I just don't think that they did their job, and they haven't been doing their job clearly with Zimmerman. I don't know if he has some kind of connection to the police department or what, but he needs to get on somewhere. Zimmerman, since January 2011, has called the police 46 times. So the police probably know who he is and know that he can't be taken seriously, but I don't know. It's just ridiculous. They say that the neighbors in the area of this gated community say that Zimmerman was fixated on crime and focused on young black men. And that makes me even more angry, because it's almost like TRAYVON didn't have a chance. Like, he was being scouted or hunted by this person. He just wanted to kill a black man. And TRAYVON was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's just not fair. And something else that is involving this case that I'm learning about is that the police are so eager to help the murderer that they're even trying to correct the witness statements. One witness said that she heard TRAYVON yell out for help. Heard him. The police officer said, "No, you didn't. You heard George Zimmerman." And she's like, "No." And the police officers are just intent on saying that that's not what they heard. They heard George Zimmerman cry out for help, which That's just so stupid. Why would a 250-pound man be crying out for help against a 17-year-old skinny little kid who isn't even armed and he has a gun? Why would he? That doesn't even make any damn sense. It doesn't. The police haven't tested Zimmerman for drugs or alcohol, even though if you listen further into the 911 tapes, it kind of sounds like he could have been intoxicated, but that's neither here nor there. I could give a crap less about that. The officer in charge, which I think this is really makes me think that the police don't care if the killer was Asian, Hispanic, white. They wouldn't have cared because this police officer in charge is a racist. It says that the officer in charge of the crime scene also received criticism in 2010, which is only 2 years ago, when he initially failed to arrest a lieutenant's son who was videotaped attacking a homeless black man. That could have been because it was the lieutenant's son, but because the homeless man was black and TRAYVON is black, makes me think that it's a little bit racist. That there's some racism going on there. There's been lots of petitions to get justice for TRAYVON and his family. This is absolutely an outrage. America should be outraged. And what really upset me in the beginning, because this has been, a few weeks ago, what really upset me in the beginning was the fact that I didn't hear about this on CNN. I didn't hear about this on Good Morning America. I didn't hear about this on The View. I saw this on Facebook for weeks. Why isn't this a national concern? Why isn't it's just now kind of getting a little bit of coverage, but it should be on everybody's mind just as much as it was with Casey Anthony and Kaylee. Now I know that she was a little baby and it was a mother, but it was someone who was getting away with murder, and that's the point. This man I really believe he's going to get away with this, and it burns me up that in 2012 people are still allowed to just get away with cold-blooded murder because they hate us. And then people, accuse me all the time of, oh, you take things too serious, not everything is racist. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is to me. And I don't care what anyone thinks at this point. I will be suspicious because now we have to. We have to. Anytime something happens to you now, I mean, it's always been this way, but just, you have to just think that it's some kind of racial thing, and that's not right. It shouldn't be like that in 2012. It shouldn't be like that. So I encourage you all to, sign the petition to get justice for TRAYVON and his family. But I don't want this to turn into a Troy Davis situation where black people were up in arms about his execution verdict or sentencing, whatever, and they protested, they petitioned, and when we lost that, and when Troy Davis was murdered, he was murdered. When he was murdered, that was it. We were just done. It felt like there was nothing else we could do. But hopefully we've learned from that and we won't let that happen again. Even if George Zimmerman gets off, which I really believe he will, because Florida just has a problem with convicting murderers and handling their business, and it's in the South. I think he'll probably get off, but we cannot let this go. We have to continue to fight, and we have to continue to demand our rights and our justice. We have to. And that's basically all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, I hope that this has, sparked your interest in this and you do some research about this, because something truly needs to be done for young TRAYVON and his family.